meeting to order. Are there any revisions to the agenda? No? Then I would like a motion, please, to approve.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Holly moved to approve the agenda. Joe seconded, right? Joe seconded. All those in favor? Okay, as you know, this is a special meeting for all our hires. Because it's a special meeting, we don't have a consent agenda, so best practices is for me to read all of the hires or resignations, or all the personnel items, I guess I should say, and their positions, so that it gets in the minutes. Okay, so here we go. Resignations: Braylon Job, custodian; Carrie Lovett, math bowl; Jim McHugh, substitute; Mary Winters, drama club sponsor and fee club sponsor; Ann Pruitt, ECA's Fillmore Spell Bowl and drama club; Central Fillmore elementary choir; Chris Proctor, assistant football coach and middle school track; Lori Siddons, substitute. Employment recommendations are Bobby Siddons, instructional assistant; Corey Tinsley, high school math teacher; David Mann, elementary choir; Jill Nelson, drama club; Cole Ames, high school head baseball coach; Teresa Goss, substitute teacher; John Rissler, football assistant; Brittany Glaze, instructional assistant; Cameron Taylor, instructional assistant; Dennis Weir, temporary teacher, maternity leave; Darcy Webster, activity bus driver. Employment transfers: Melissa Neese, transfer from FES IA to FES substitute teacher; Juliana Cox, from FES IA to FES community preschool lead, instructional assistant; Tracy Boyce, from office assistant to transportation to full-time school bus driver; and Melissa Jones, bus driver, transferring from developmental pre-K route to ONT students attending North Putnam Middle School. So those are the personnel items. May I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the personnel items.
I'll second it.
Lee made the motion to approve. Wade seconded those. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of elementary and middle high school handbook updates. Tana, you want to just speak to that?
Yeah.
So legislators told the Indiana Department of Education that they wanted them to define categories related to excused absences. And so they did that. They dropped that document over the summer. So it was about the time we were approving our handbook updates, and that happened to other schools too. When I've been at events this summer, I've talked to other schools, and it took a little time for all of us to grapple with what that meant and how we wanted to address it, because what the state did is they defined the categories, but then what falls within those categories in terms of language that you're using and restrictions, that's all local decision. So corporations had to look at what they were currently doing. Did they want to make modifications or not? How did they want to communicate those expectations to their community? So I talked to some people this summer. I met with Kevin and John, who are the assistant principals of middle school, high school. We talked about it from their perspective. They're walking out attendance a lot in terms of following up with kids. And then Jack Heath and Joanna Muncie and I talked about it. Mike McHugh was in that meeting as well. And we all talked about what language we wanted. So what you see before you is the language that we're recommending in terms of updates to our handbook. When we record an absence now as excused or unexcused, when we choose excused, then there'll be those drop downs will be these new categories. And then that's the information that'll go to the state. So as the state's trying to understand why kids are missing school in Indiana, you're going to see it broken down in those categories.
So this will be in the elementary handbooks too. It's not just, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Those categories and how those are defined will be in the elementary handbook as well.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you for doing the extra work on that deal.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Motion to approve the elementary and middle school handbook.
Move to approve the elementary and middle school and all the handbooks.
I'll second.
Joe made the motion to approve all the student handbooks and Lee seconded that. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Consideration of new bleachers for the field house. As part of the field house project, there were several items that were considered owner provided, meaning that we would purchase them outside of the construction bid package. Dr. Smith and Dr. Penrod and Mr. Burgess worked to get 4 competitive quotes that we have in our packet of movable bleachers for the field house to give us seating for 200 spectators. We're seeking approval for the lowest quote in the package so we can get them ordered so that they'll be ready for the upcoming opening of the field house later this fall.
Did any of you talk to Dr. Smith about that at all?
I asked him about it to find out what was going on, and he said that Mrs. Gardner was here. She was up to date on all of the details. So I'm assuming you're able to field questions.
My
for us,
only
Mrs.
question
Gardner.
is like, anytime you go with the lowest bidder, you get what you pay for.
Right.
Oftentimes, sometimes it's still a good deal, and if you get all the bells and whistles you
Mhm.
need. My only question would be, does the lowest bidder provide all the bells and whistles we need for that application?
The information I got from Burgess said years in terms of longevity. I think some of the higher bidders, maybe if you find the product, some of them would tell you they might have a little bit longer. I know both of them are brands that are offered at local vendors.
Yeah.
So I think if we're looking, is it going to be a 30-year product versus a year? You to predict that. And again, depending on who you ask, who's selling it to you, you get a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, they're both products that you see. There's not an out, not
I just want to be sure that when we're approving the lowest bidder, that we're, and I noticed that
Right.
there's some pretty significant price differences
Yeah.
in those quotes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this other one's half again as much, and it's like, okay, we probably don't want that one because it probably isn't too much different than the other, but like, just I trust that they chose the right one. I just have to ask the question, right?
Yeah.
probably your more expensive one's gonna have both. But they are both
Yeah.
doable.
And the fact that they're movable, does that mean we'll use them like when we have a swim meet for out there in front of the,
It wouldn't be
Not that
those
movable.
wouldn't be out there. We're gonna get tips, features for larger, like what you see in a traditional basketball area. That's what's gonna give us that 300 person seat. So they are movable, which is good. It's not like we're just gonna roll them into storage each time we're not using them. I think
Oh.
out in the gym a lot. It'll be holding them up in front.
so are they like the ones up at the Central Elementary Gym?
Well, those are actually bolted to the wall.
Yeah.
So they won't be bolted
They're
to
not
the wall,
the same.
Okay.
but they will fold up. Like
Yeah.
if you look at a bleacher when it's folded up, it will look a lot like a bleacher that's folded up now, or maybe out this way. You're got it sideways. It's gonna be, it'll be flat. But it's not bolted to the wall, so the whole unit could theoretically be rolled to somewhere else. So like, if we have events going on in both, food court and you have court, then we might distribute the bleachers around it differently.
Okay.
If we all made that the wood floor, then we make all of those bleachers just around that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and I don't know, and I can call Dr. Smith if we need to.
No,
My question was because there was a big difference between costs. I wondered I'm wondering now if that one is one of the companies we can purchase through I don't know what it's called, the group purchasing thing. And maybe that's why it's lower. I don't know if that's significant or not.
Yeah, the one was so low, it kind of concerned me a little bit, honestly. That it was not.
3 were very comparable, and then
Yeah.
1 was
Way low. That makes me nervous by selecting the lowest one every time. I think.
I think it's okay. I got it. I think Dr. Smith must be listening. He said that lowest quote matched the feature to feature with the others.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Thank you, Dr. Smith,
Yeah.
for virtually weighing in on that. Okay, anybody have any other questions? All right, then we can go with a motion, please.
I moved to approve the new bleachers for the field house.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Holly.
I'll second.
Wade moved to approve the new bleachers for the field house. Holly seconded that. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, and then I just have some comments. I made a small donation to the STEM lab, and so I got to meet with Anne up at Central and kind of see what's going on there, which is super exciting. And also, I asked if there was anything that, if she was going to send out a note for, because STEM needs like toilet paper rolls and, all that kind of stuff. And she was going to send out a supply list request to parents. So I asked that she send that to board members too. So that might be coming in email form, either from Dr. Smith or Anne. And then I went to a workshop that was organized by a friend of mine in Northeast School Corporation down around Sullivan. And my friend Patty worked with Debbie and Heather to get our teachers some spots in this workshop. And so it was offered to the Patty's Corporation first, and she had 4 spots left. So Heather got 4 teachers to go from here, and I was there too. And I just want you to know how pleased and proud I was of our South Putnam teachers. I mean, they represented us so well. It was nice to see. Anyway, and it was a great conference too, and I think they got a lot out of it and appreciated it. And then, Mr. Klein, I attended the redevelopment meeting. It's got a long commission meeting. Yeah, I think I said that right. Anyway.
For the TIF.
Yeah, so they voted to create and include us, South Putnam, in a TIF district. So I don't really understand all I know about it, but all that stuff that Corey sent us from Kristen Clary, that all passed. So we are now in a TIF district. What little I understand is that it changes, it'll change the tax formula just a little bit, but shouldn't impact us too much, but might. So right now, there's no new businesses coming in. It's just when there's something new that would come into this area that it would change things in some way. That's all I can say. But anyway, at that meeting, Lee, you were voted in to be on the Putnam County Redevelopment Commission, and you are a non-voting member, but you will be notified anytime they meet. So also at that meeting, there was someone that was wanting to create a new TIF district within Greencastle, I think, for a housing development. So it doesn't really apply to us, but that's basically when that group meets, I think, from what I understand.
So does that freeze tax dollars then for future infrastructure? Is that what it?
It's TIF stands for tax increment financing. And the way Kristen explained it to me, and don't take what I say as, gospel truth. It's something about when you're in a TIF district and a new business comes in, then the county does something with their taxes. So the way I understand it, then that pool of tax money from that entity goes to the Putnam County commissioners and council members to decide where that money is going to be spent. And it relieves some tax burden, I believe. It sounded really complicated. And I was
Sure.
always relieved when the ISBA people talked about, TIF, and because I thought, oh, I don't have to worry about that so now we got to worry about
Never
that
gonna
when we
happen
get
to us.
those. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you for all being here on a Saturday and our audience.
Thank you.
And if there's nothing else, we